Here I am speaking to the wonderful Jurgen Appelo, who is currently in which country?
In the Netherlands, well, actually, that's where I live, but I also live in Brussels, Belgium, so it's a bit of both, actually.
Right, and we could get you on any given moment and not be quite sure where you are because you're about to embark upon a world tour, no?
Correct, yes, it's all about my book, Workout, and it's been going on ever since June. And the end is in December of this year, where the last workshop will be in Argentina.
Fantastic. Well, I think there are quite a few people who wish that they could carry your suitcases around, but you'll be coming to Australia at the end of October, and that's why we're talking to you now for the Dare Festival, which is part of the Happy Melly movement, of which you were one of the founders. Tell us a bit about Happy Melly.
Well, we prefer to call it as a business or business network because we are entrepreneurs working together under one name, like a cooperative or franchise. There are similar constructions. So it's not a movement in the sense that we are volunteers. No, we make money. We have businesses. But we try to make the world a better place while making money. And that's the purpose that unites us. So my particular business is Management 3.0, the courses, workshops, licensing, content, books. But others have other brands such as Collaboration Superpowers or Dare, in this case, the conference. The conferences that are organized in various cities around the world. And it's also a Happy Money brand, just organized by others in the network.
Okay, and all coming together with the common theme of happiness in the workplace, yes? Okay,
Correct.
so
Yeah.
what is one of the common things that workplaces are getting wrong when it comes to happiness in the workplace, Jurgen?
Well, many things, I suppose. One thing that stands out to me is well, first of all, many organizations don't do anything about engaging their workers, empowering people. So that's why we have these horrible statistics worldwide that say that 80% of people do not feel engaged in their jobs, which is a sad thing, in my opinion. Lots of people that I talk to want to quit their jobs, want to move somewhere else, but they don't dare to because they need the money for their mortgage and feeding their children, so they feel stuck. And that's something that I want to do something about, and others, fortunately, as well. But then still, what many experts, I think, have wrong is that they try to concentrate on making the people happier. Well, that would be just throwing a party, I suppose, that would make them happy, but that doesn't really improve the business. So what I picked up from the research mentioned in the happiness hypothesis, for example, great book, is that yes, happy people make businesses perform better, but actually the other way around is much more significant. So better performing businesses make people happier. So it's actually what we should be focusing on is making businesses perform better, in my opinion, helping employees have better organizations, and if the organizations work better, then as a consequence, people feel happier because that effect has been measured to be more significant than just happy people turning into business improvement.
Right, well, it actually sounds like quite logical when you say it that way. What is one particular tactic, an example of something that a business can do to yield happier workers?
Oh, so many things. So one thing that I believe many management and leadership experts, me included, have sometimes gotten wrong is that we focus on principles and not so much on practices. Like be a servant leader. It is true. It is great suggestion. But how can you be a servant leader on Tuesday afternoon? It is not concrete. It is not actionable for people. So they hear it, they nod their heads, and then they ignore it because you don't give them anything concrete to work with. So what I try to do is just copy practices from innovative businesses, big and small, around the world during my travels, and I've described that in my new book, the things that they are really doing. And they are sometimes little things such as kudo cards. Just have physical tokens of appreciation that you give to your colleagues for a job well done, or as a nice gesture. And this in itself, an appreciative culture, can mean so much to engaging workers and improving their work. You can install a kudo box next Monday morning. It's a very simple but very concrete practice. Another example that I came across this year is the OKR system, Objectives and Key Results, which is practiced by Google, but also many more other companies by now. It is a more a human way of measuring performance. One thing that many managers seek around the world is, how do we measure their performance? The question that always comes up: how do we measure the performance of teams? Well, this practice says, well, you should measure your own performance. Do not measure somebody else's performance. Just look at yourself and then broadcast the results and be transparent about your improvement, as athletes do with each other, basically with help of coaches. So an OKR system is another thing that you can implement next week. I've started it myself a couple of months ago. It's a great way to improve yourself and learn about making progress. But I'm not giving somebody else targets. I give myself targets.
Yeah.
And these are just two examples. Simple, complicated practices. I have dozens more in my book, and that's hopefully something that I want to share when I'm in Melbourne next in a couple of weeks.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to hearing more about that. In the meantime, people can go to your blog, which is noop.nl, that's NOOP.nl, to read up more about you, and follow you on Twitter, I guess, to follow your travels on your way to and from Australia. And we look forward to seeing you at the end of October.
All right, me too.
Bye, Jurgen.
And coffee in particular, by the way. Look forward to the coffee in summer.
Yes.